now, topping off with fuel, got a little snack, stretched our legs, and just gonna keep burning down the miles, guys. My name's Steve Morse, and I'm calling from Maine. I'm a Marine Corps veteran and former law enforcement. And my son and I are coming out to Kansas to do some bow hunting, and we didn't know if you allowed bow hunting on your property at all.
Click. Folks, you gotta do what you gotta do to get the permission in Kansas. This has been a all-day grind. Alright folks, finally in Kansas. Drove about, I don't know, 15, 16 hours last night. Got a hotel. We drove the rest today, but we're finally here. We got 40 minutes till our little farmhouse we're staying at, and then we're here straight to boots on the ground scouting. We're gonna try to get some cameras out on a few properties that we have permission, and then kind of do some blasting in the evening just to see if we can see anything on the big 700 acre we got. We actually got permission from the guy or whatever.
Months we stepped in Kansas and it's forward. This is our real first day in Kansas scouting. We're on some public land, and we came in. There was a little bit of sign at first. There was a couple of small scrapes, but then we dove in deeper, got into the back of the property, and then found this big fresh scrape right here, and a pretty decent buck track. So this is probably something definitely worth us hunting an evening and kind of seeing what happens. So.
Find this landowner. Had to go to a diner, find his daughter. From his daughter had to call her husband to try to figure out where he was, and we figure out where his actual house was. Met him there. We were assuming that he was just gonna be like, yeah, load up, let's go for a ride, and that's exactly what we're doing right now.
He's like, follow me. We'll go pick out a few spots.
As someone from out of state, that's music to my ears. Big rub
right there. Look, he's going up into the bean. Probably why there's some giants in here, because they eat the beans all summer. You get the big high racks on them.
Damn near every place you think there's deer, there's two or three. At every place that you don't think there's deer, there's a rub, a scrape, and the biggest trail of your life.
Literally walked on 90 yards.
Property.
Found our first scrape.
Big sand scrape.
Sand scrape.
Yep. Playing in the sand.
Alright folks, so we are out here in Kansas on our first real sit. We snuck into this piece of public tonight. It was pretty much a shit show getting in here and getting set up, but I didn't realize how loud the trees are, and the park is in Kansas, so we're just kind of knocking the rust off of us. First sit, getting ready for the next week of pretty prime hunting. Fingers crossed tonight. We got about an hour left until it gets dark. Just gotta see what happens. We're on public, so never know what can happen. Alright folks, we're sitting here and a nice forecourt came out. And he's working up this edge right now. We played the wind right, we did the right thing. It's not the right one. fun, but it's a deer, so it's cool to see. Have you ever been in a tornado in a tree stand? Walk to the tree in your saddle. It's 80 yards of poke. Holy shit! Dude, oh my god, ow! Ow, fuck, dude, give me that thing, Oh my god, dude.
As you can see, we just got hit by that storm that just rolled through, and we happened to be tied into a saddle in the deer stand. We saw 8 deer tonight on public, and it was our first real sit in Kansas. We saw 7 does and a buck. Not a shooter, obviously, it was just a spike horn, but it's cool to just finally get in a tree and see some Kansas deer. But yeah, that was pretty gnarly. We were coming back out of the stand, and literally rock-sized hail started hitting us, and we just sprinted back to the truck. We're completely soaked. We're gonna get all our stuff rounded up here, wait for my dad, and then we're gonna head back to camp. Start drying some stuff off, and we left our set for the morning, so we're gonna come in here and try to slip in here in the morning and see if we can't rattle on a nice buck in the bow range. So. I think we made like a green tea, dude.
Across the field right at first light, and we left our set here from last night because we got rained out. We'll see what happens. Just rattled our first bucket in Kansas. Literally by the time that I put my antlers down, that buck was coming at us. That's pretty freaking cool. Probably like a 120, but wide little buck, just not what we're looking for. Alright folks, so we just got down after our morning sit. Saw 2 bucks this morning. We just got all our stuff down. We just kind of scouted around. If we were to hunt this again, I think we'd move closer to this corner right here. And yeah, no, we rattled that buck probably a couple hundred yards across that field this morning. And he came on a dead sprint, so things are definitely picking up here in Kansas. Should be a good week.
All right, folks, so right now we are currently standing on a new piece of property that we just got permission for. We called them up. She answered and she's like, oh yeah, are you guys from the people from Maine? And we're like, yeah. And she's like, oh yeah, I talked to my son, you guys are all good to hunt. Have no idea about this property. We're just going off hunting the wind, and even if we can get into an area where we can see a good ways, just see if we can see some deer. You are looking at a natural disaster. We played the 50-50 game and went into a spot, played the wind, got to where we needed to be, literally at the bottom of our tree, and the deer jumped up like 100 yards from us. And we just decided it's best just to get out of there, and we lost. They won, so fair play. We just hiked out and we went to a piece of Weehaw, and I guess it's not open till November 1st, so we just said screw it, we're gonna go glass a piece of private that we got permission from another guy, and maybe we'll learn something that we needed to know and it was meant to be. So we got 600 yards up and over that hill. We are headed in to where we glassed those giants up. That was last night. it's a marginal win. It could be better, but it's usually it goes if the wind's in your favor, you know, the deer aren't there. If the wind's in their favor, then they're there. So
it was a long day trying to figure out how the wind was going to be and our access to where we needed to be, where the deer were at last night. We're about as marginal as you can get with the wind being how it is. And like Donnie Vincent always says, if you put yourself in magical places, magical things will happen. And that's our goal tonight. This place is pretty magical, and just being in Kansas and being in a tree is very grateful for that. Fingers crossed tonight. We got the lucky broadhead on. We got the lucky camera guy. We just gotta make it happen. We gotta make a good shot and just put this bruiser down. We're naming him Longhorn. We'll tell you the story later, but we gotta get to hunting, so let's get it.
it's over. Just smoked him. Oh my God, dude. Ian. All the way, Rennie. Put yourself in magical places and magical things will happen. Me and Ian wrote up this script since yesterday to today, and it all came together. Our script was written, and I had this buck come across. He worked across this whole field all night, and he came in at 53 yards, and I ranged him. I missed the range at first, shot a little low, and then I re-ranged him the second time, and I shot his heart out. So he's dead in the field. Let's go check him out. 90 yards to go. You here? All right. Dude, I'm freaking just trying to take a moment, guy. I'm about to cry. Holy shit, that's the biggest deer I think I've ever shot in my life, guy. Dude, can't.
What a buck, Wyatt, dude. Oh my God, dude. Hell yeah, brother. Congratulations.
Holy shit, man.
That's a fucking great deer.
Dude, smoked a mega meat, bro. That's what it's all about right there, folks. Kansas giant. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Big 8. Look at the neck on that freaking beast. These things are huge, man. That is a freaking mature whitetail right there. Wow. Unreal, dude. Unreal. All right, folks. Well, after a week of grinding, we finally made it happen here in Kansas. Something I kind of wanted to say was bow hunting has been a therapy for me throughout my life, and I've struggled with a few things, and this has been my remedy right here. My dad got me in bow hunting when I was probably 8 years old, and I walked downstairs, and under the Christmas tree there was a Christmas present that was wrapped, and it looked like a bow case, and after I opened that present up and I opened that case, that was it, man. I was hooked. From then I had to work on trying to even be able to pull the boat back because I couldn't even pull it back, and it was like 40 pounds. And throughout high school, I grew and I really stuck with archery, and I kind of faded away from rifle hunting and all that stuff. Ever since high school, it was always my dream to come to Kansas, just to go to the Midwest, and me and my dad would always talk about it, about how we're gonna make these trips when I graduate high school and stuff like that. And right now I feel like I'm living on a dream. We're waiting on my dad right now and just kind of taking it in. I'm officially tagged out in Kansas. Been a crazy ride, a lot of grinding, a lot of scouting. We set up in a corner, and this buck pretty much just downwind-sided all the does and just pushed them right to us. We were set up in the corner. We had to drag him out. Needed all hands on deck for this buck because he was giant. So right now we're starting a new ritual in Kansas and ripping Sonic, because usually the bucks we get are pretty deep, so it takes us a little bit to get them out. So this is the only place open. So new ritual starting now. Stephen Morse, Wyatt Morse, Kansas Sonic in the cut. Steve's still got a tag, so we just got to keep it rolling. We're going to be forwarding it over to him, and it's his time to shine. Game on. We got one more tag. We got to get it.
I tagged out last night, so we're back at it again. My dad's got a buck tag. We're in the timber tonight, sitting on the edge of a field. But we're back inside the timber a little bit, trying to catch some bucks before they get to the field.
The rut's on. It's starting. Anything can happen at any time. Well, that's it for tonight. We had a good set. We saw 2 small bucks, 2 does, and then we haven't had another bigger buck. Like the same time we seen the smaller bucks come in from our right over here, but he just didn't come in fast enough. We never really saw him, but that's kind of where we've seen it on camera that the buck's over there bedding, so it was definitely him. We're pretty sure, so we're gonna give him a couple days and then make a game plan to kill him.
They're just out there feeding.
Now we've just been driving around glassing, and we've probably seen about 10 does and a couple small bucks. With all these deer coming out to the ag that we can slip in from the backside, it's going to be about a mile hike probably. We gotta wait for that weather front to change. But as soon as that cold front comes in, I think we need to be in that bottom somewhere and get those deer filtering back down into the bottom, and those bucks chasing those does back down in there. Hopefully get a shot at a giant. So, but I think once we're in there, we gotta be in there for quite a while. We just can't be just a morning sit. We're gonna have to be there probably all day. So we might have to pack a sandwich. PB&J.
Over a week here in Kansas, like we had talked about, my son had got a butt down a few days ago. And in the last few days, it's been 40, 50 mile an hour winds, 85 degrees. We really haven't hunted at all, and we've been just kind of scouting. And finally, today the weather's going to take a switch, and we get a wind switch later, so we're going to be in the stand tonight. And I think from here on out, the weather's 10 times better than it has been the last few days. So right now we're just getting organized and gearing up. And because we know from here on out, it is going to be balls to the walls, and it's going to get crazy. Yeah, we got a screw in the tire. Always something. Oh! What? Jeez! Holy shit. I don't think we're getting in a damn tree tonight.
right at the cold, from when it switched from warm to cold, right at the cold snap, we had a bunch of pictures of big bucks and stuff like that. And then it's kind of just been the same throughout this whole week. So we're just waiting for something to kind of switch a little bit.
Mornings again. We had a perfect setup this morning. The wind was right, and we had a kind of awkward tree we had to get into, so it took us a little bit longer setting up than we would have liked. And just sat down, and I had my rangefinder out a little bit, and I was kind of ranging some different ranges. And I said, "Dad, there's a shooter buck to your right." And I looked to the right. Of course, there's the tree there, and I really couldn't see him. And then when I saw him, I was like, "Oh man, this is a giant." I ranged him at 45, and then because it was still low light, I still couldn't see my dial. And honestly, by the time I ranged him or whatever, he kind of knew something was going on. So, and he didn't take off running, and he didn't blow or nothing. And we grunted at him a couple times, and he just kind of worked up across the field to the next property. And we're gonna get back in here this afternoon, and might have to hunt from the ground so we can sneak out, but. There's definitely the action's picking up around here in Kansas, folks, so stay tuned. There's literally no trees to get in, so we had to just cut into this makeshift ground blind behind the big cedar tree. And we're hoping either the bucks might come down the edge here and cut off towards the scrape, or come across out of this way from the east, or come into the southeast over here.
Oh my God. Dude. Oh my God, dude.
It's not him. It's not him, but.
That was the buck we were getting bedded up in there, dude. He was looping around the camera.
Finally got it done in Kansas. Our second tag is done on this beautiful 9-point. And the big story of this is that we had some intel that there was a bigger buck up in here, and we figured he was bedding. So we actually kind of looped into the property. We snuck in, and we had figured that we were like within 100 to 120, 30 yards of where this other buck was bedded. And we snuck in, and we had to set up and had to do it quiet and stay on the back of the trees, so that really just be noise discipline. And at 3 o'clock I kind of heard something. I looked forward, and this guy was poking out and coming right from bedding, right from the bed, and came out to me at about 10 yards, and I stopped him, and I hit him a little high, but I dropped him in his tracks, and that was it, folks. And this is going to wrap up our Kansas tour, and we've been here since October 20th, and we've been grinding, and things are starting to get a little bit better, and we've been here a long time, and I'm just thankful to God and my wife at home, and to have this beautiful Kansas white bleach rat step out today. First trip to Kansas, we got a beautiful 8-point, this beautiful 9-point, and for our first trip out here, I think we killed it.